Fallen Angle, or Angel, depending on how well you can read. So I almost restarted this level after dying at the first checkpoint.
Send me an angel.
Don't know that song. Should I know that song?
No.
Okay, good.
It's not that famous.
This opening area is surprisingly difficult. Stay to the right. There's a bunch of dudes. So this kind of holographic sight, I forget what it's called. Like, it kind of sends out this pulse every couple of seconds and highlights people on your HUD, right? Like when you're looking through it. And it is super helpful to have throughout this entire game, especially when you're going up against dudes that may be camo and against like well-trained dudes. So like on the last level, I couldn't use it because that last level was in the past actually, but this one's in the future. And these enemies are a little bit more well-trained, I guess, and well-equipped, so they're wearing camo and they're a lot harder to see. So having that special...
It looks awesome.
With that
just
sight.
Watching the pulse go all the way down.
Yeah, it does. It looks really cool. I've used it a bit on
Clean up on aisle 4.
Yeah, so be careful in this area because there's a helicopter chilling outside and you can get like mowed down by him so quick. Just kind of hug that far right wall, and I think you have to trigger that bus somehow, or just by moving forward over that invisible tripwire that Call of Duty is so infamous for. You know, I think they did a much better job of hiding those invisible tripwires in this game than in the previous ones. But, and then that bus, I think that bus actually takes out the helicopter.
The bus that finally slowed down.
Yes, is that the conclusion of the bus that couldn't slow down? It finally slows down?
Due to 3 feet of water. And,
and a helicopter.
Nowhere else to go, and a huge wall of a supermarket.
Oh, I lost my train of thought. Invisible tripwires, Call of Duty. Oh yeah, this holographic sight. I don't like it on multiplayer very much. Now, I haven't played this in maybe like 2 weeks or so, but I liked... So there's 2 sights that kind of identify targets as you're looking down them. There's this one that kind of sends that pulse out and it kind of shows them through walls. And I feel like in single player, they're more generous with how frequently it pulses and the radius through which it pulses. So I feel like on multiplayer, it doesn't pulse as often and it doesn't go as far. So it
makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want some overpowered thing.
Right, because then everybody would using it. There's another one called the Target Finder that it puts this big red diamond on people's heads when you're looking down the sights. And there's no distance limitations on that, but it doesn't show people through walls. But it's really handy. Like that's my favorite one so far, at least for assault rifles. This one I feel is better on multiplayer for machine guns or SMGs when you're like running around and like taking corners and stuff, because like you can kind of get the beat on someone if you think someone's in the next room. It makes it so much easier to just like leap around the corner and hit them, like be aimed at the exact right spot and just get that jump on them so much faster.
Not have to like locate them.
Right, like you know, like there's a lot of times where you'll just know, especially in objective games, where there's a really good chance somebody's in the next room because you're on the wrong side of the map, right? Like you're past that midway point on an objective game where there's like 3 King of the Hill spots, right?
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm in the enemy territory. I need to take it a little bit slower. So if you just have that thing up, it makes it so much easier to just get the beat on every single person that comes by. There's a challenge on this that I actually haven't gotten yet on this part of the level. It says like don't get hit by any of the debris on the map, like as it's going, like you can see those cars coming by, but there's also like tons of junk just floating around in the water. So I don't know if like the tiny little pieces of wood floating by count as well, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do the challenge guide for this because it's so poorly done and so poorly like displayed and explained that it's just really frustrating.
You can't just look at them.
No, like you have to go out of the menu and like the game, and it's the game's not designed to go back and try like a small section again the way like Hitman is for your challenge guide for that, where you can just revert to checkpoint and try it again.
Right.
Or
you have to do the whole level.
Right, and there's no restart from checkpoint in this, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
For specific things like that. So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So this section kind of boring. You have to wait for these, or you have to avoid the headlights. The headlights, spotlights from. Do helicopters have headlights?
I think
sure.
The spotlight.
The spotlight from the helicopter, or else you'll die really quick. On veteran, like I'm really fucking impatient when it comes to stealth sections. But on veteran, just follow Harper. When I was playing through on easy, you can kill those helicopters if you have like a big gun, and you die so like you have so much more health on easy that you know you can take a couple shots from them and kill them fast enough, or get like an explosive gun or something like that. Oh, what I should have done is for my secondary is done the that kind of explosive flechette launcher that sends out like 3 sticky grenades at once with like one shot, and see if I can take out those helicopters with that. That would have been fun. Anyway, just follow. Shit, what's that guy's name? The one-handed dude in The Walking Dead. Earl.
Merle.
Yeah.
Merle.
The slack-jawed yokel.
The guy with the knife hand.
The knife hand. Yes, yeah. Mr. Knife Hands.
That's Merle.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh.
He's.
It's that actor.
Yeah, it's the same voice actor.
Okay.
And his face kind of looks like him in this game. Yeah, it looks like him,
though.
Except he's not bald. Like he's got like younger looking hair, I guess. Like it's his face, but he looks quite a bit younger than he does in The Walking Dead. But it's so his voice. I'm like, oh god damn. There should be DLC for this where you get like you play as him with a knife hand. Oh, and Activision's making The Walking Dead first-person shooter.
That sounds good.
Huh. They should do that. DLC. And there's fucking zombies mode in this game.
Yeah, they should just make a...
Yeah. Sacrifice your hand to get a knife hand.
Yeah.
To kill zombies instantly.
Can't use any more two-handed weapons. Like pistol and a knife hand.
Dude.
Or a sawed-off and a knife hand.
That's awesome. That would be a sweet zombie mode.
Knife hand
mode where you get a better melee, where you can just like kill them all in one
punch.
Knife punch punch. I can't talk anymore. We get one punch to the face, it takes them out instantly, and then. But yeah, you can only use pistols in one-handed guns.
And your rusty knife hand.
And your rusty trombone. So just wait back here. Let Merle do all the killing for you outside, and then in a couple seconds you'll get the opportunity to control the Brutus outside. They're like, oh, what's this thing?
Oh.
Burn, bitches.
Brutus.
Et tu, Brute? So just use this for a little bit. You can switch to... There's another Brutus on the roof up top. You can... Brutus and Maximus, they have different names, I guess. It's the same kind of four-legged, kind of mobile tank thing. And this one, it's much easier to get all the kills that you need to. There's like one helicopter, a couple cars on the ground. And I don't think you can die. I think this is just timed. Like if you don't shoot anybody, I'm pretty sure this whole section will just end. And take you to the driving sequence after this, but...
That's really nice that you don't die.
It is really nice. I'd be pissed if you could die. Because you're so fucking slow. Oh, well, so this is what the Spec Ops mode... I keep fucking calling it Spec Ops mode because that stupid Spec Ops line game that came out over the summer.
Well, and there's always been a Spec Ops mode in Call of Duty.
Yeah, and it was called Spec Ops mode. Strike Force mode. Fucking Strike Force mission. So this is what Strike Force is like. You can switch between the dudes on the ground and some robots, but the robots die pretty quickly and they're pretty immobile. in the
Johnny Number 5.
Strike Force. I cannot call it anything but Strike Force. I mean, Spec Ops. Oh my god, I can't even get it wrong right. Wow, that's impressive. I can't even get it wrong.
Just call the bad one ass mode.
Ass mode, butthole mode. Yeah. Shit ass AI mode.
Garbage water mode.
Garbage water. Hot dog flavored water mode. Ugh. So you can drive for a bit here.
Oh wow, that was
you
sweet.
just like run people over. Now there's going to be a jump coming up in a couple seconds where it's going to give you the opportunity to control that helicopter up above instead of driving. And I found, I mean, it's all pretty easy. Control the drone instead. And I found controlling the drone much less likely to die. Like there were, I died driving the car on my trial runs just because like I don't know why. Because you don't do any damage, like you don't really have control over killing the other dudes. When you're driving the car, you're just strictly driving. Yeah, you're only steering. I did die flying this stupid drone around once though, but I don't know. It's kind of an interesting change of pace. Now the last thing I have to mention is that at the very end of this mission, when you get control of the car again, stay to the right side as much as possible. There's a moment at the very, very, very last second where there's like a gas valve or something that explodes and it's just like spitting out fire. And Harper or Merle is on the turret seat in the back. And if you accidentally drive through the fire, it sets him on fire and it like permanently scars him for the rest of the game.
That sounds sweet.
And like he's got this awful facial burn. And it doesn't affect the story at all because it's such a minor thing. But
I want that to happen.
I will then stay to the left. But when you get control, like you have to dodge out of the way. You have to swerve left when this like big silo collapses and then cut right hard. So right now, I'm not controlling the movement of this drone at all. I'm just firing, which I thought was pretty fun.
I was hoping you were going to say at the last moment, there's a banana peel on the street. You don't look out for it.
At the very last moment,
spin out.
I installed the Mario Kart mod, and it replaces all the cars in this with Mario and Luigi and Toad and all that, and they throw banana peels. So like that right there is what you have to avoid. And yeah. So that's the end of the level. Game on.